Welcome to the course of data science. After completing all units, which is basically from unit 1.1 to 1.9, 1.8, in today's unit, which is actually unit 1.9, this is not about some theoretical concepts relevant to data science, but we will be discussing in unit 1.9 about some basic problems, or you can say we will try to experience data science by doing some hands-on problems, some hands-on basic problems. So definitely we have not discussed about complex or maybe complex algorithm or mathematical models or any specific type of statistical techniques yet. Then you might be thinking about that. Then how we will be solving some problem. So again, remember, data science is not about only machine learning or maybe data mining or some other techniques or some mathematical model or something like that. We may solve a problem by using some very basic technique, maybe by just doing minimum or by just doing maximum or maybe average or something like that. So here the motivation of today's lecture is to actually explore that how we can solve some basic problem by using some very basic technique. In order to solve these problems in unit 1.9, we will be using R and RStudio. So I've already explained about it that in this course we will be using R as well as Python, and RStudio is a free IDE, integrated development environment, sort of, with of course not comparison with the full-fledged IDEs like for example Visual Studio or basically any other like IntelliJ or something like that. But it's a very simple IDE. However, if you are working with R, then it is very sufficient for you to use RStudio to solve your problem, to write your piece of code, or to basically use some libraries, because R has basically extensive set of libraries available. Uh, so you can basically simply go to or visit our website, download our environment. Maybe in most of the cases you have actually 64-bit environment, so better download 64-bit installer of R, which is simply, once you have downloaded it, you just need to click few next, and it will simply install in just few minutes. And then you can basically install RStudio. Again, just write RStudio on the Google and download it, and simply after downloading, just follow simply next, and it will install automatically. So once you will install our environment and our compiler, you can say, and RStudio, you are ready to basically you are actually ready to use R. So it will hardly take few minutes to download and install. Again, it depends on your internet speed as well, but it generally take a few minutes to download and install. Once you will install it, you will be ready to explore or experiment with the problems which we are going to discuss today. So let's move on. So first of all, I will move to the problem. Okay. So in problem 1.1, imagine you see yourself as the next online senders founder of KFC and want to learn about the poultry business at a much earlier age than Mr. Sanders did. Of course, you might basically read about the story of Sanders, that at what age actually he started his business, and then eventually he become very successful. And we all, most of us are actually like KFC, and of particularly the KFC singer. So anyhow, so you want to figure out what kind of feed can help grow healthier chickens. Okay, so the motivation is basically some given some data set is given below, having around 71 or 72 instances of the records, uh, having two attributes. Particularly here you can see there are three attributes: serial number or the instance number, and weight in lbs, and of course the feet. Okay, so this is basically our data set having around 71 or 72 instances. Let's see. Okay, 71. So we have all total 71 records available. Each records have basically two attributes. Number one, weight, and the number two is actually feet. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to basically find out which one is the healthier, which one is the basically best feed, uh, which actually grows more healthier chickens. Okay, so here if you can see, I think there are horse bean, linseed, soybean, and I guess sunflower. One more, meat meal and casein. Okay, so around this, these are 1, 2, and 3 and 4. I guess this is there are 5, but let me count. Linseed, horse bean, 6. Roughly there are 6 type of feed given here, and there is a corresponding weight given in the weight column. Okay, so there are two attributes of importance. Number one, weights, and number two, feet. Okay, we are ignoring serial number or the record number, which does not make any sense to use for analysis purpose, because this is just a running number or a sequence to basically identify which record we are talking about. Otherwise, there are no use of this particular attribute, which is actually serial number. However, the remaining two attributes, which is actually weight and feed, are basically important to analyze or to answer the question given above. Okay, so what we want to find out, which feed is basically produces or grow, actually not produces, you can say grow healthier chicken. So whether we need to use horse bean, whether we need to use linseed, whether we need to use soybean, sunflower, meat meal, or casein. Okay, so our motivation is to know about which feed produces or grows more healthier chickens. So we already have basically data collected from maybe by feeding different type of feed and measuring the weight of the corresponding chicken. Okay? But now we want to find out which feed produces or grows healthier chicken. Okay, so what we will need to do here is basically first we will need to basically present or represent data in the form through which we can basically perform different basic calculation in R. So you might hear about basically data frame. Data frames are actually available in Python as well. Data frame is actually available in R as well, and of course we are using right now R. So we will be first of all we need to basically represent or store our data in data frame form. Once it will be fed into or basically represented or stored in the form of data frame, it will be very easier to analyze it. It will be very easier to perform this analysis. Okay, so first move to R Studio. This is R Studio. Here actually environment, history, connection, tutorials, and here actually the files and plots and picture, whatever you will be plotting, you can see over here. Then of course packages, whatever packages installed over here, you can of course install any new package, or you can update any package, or and then basically help and viewer, something like this. Okay, let's move to the files. Of course this is console, and here I can write any command in R using R syntax. Don't worry much about R right now, because we will be discussing from very basics to maybe more advanced concept or advanced syntax related to R. But right now we will be using just one function, and using that function we will try to solve all our problems in the current section. Okay, so if I can see here, I can go back. So this is basically the first data set. I don't need to basically feed manually, okay, because it is already available in our environment. So I just need to basically use this data set to perform analysis. So this data set, what we are talking about, I am talking about this particular data set, this data set about weights and feed. This data set is already available in the environment, so I don't need to basically store or basically add in the form of data frame before going to analyze. So I already have basically this data set available in R, and once you will install R and RStudio, it will be already available in your environment as well. So you don't need to basically represent, or you don't need to basically define this data yourself, but the data set is already available in the environment. Okay, so how? Let's move again. Check weights is the data set. If you can enter here, now you can see this is the data set. Again, serial number, weight, and feed. So this is the same data set which we were talking about in our basically PDF document. Okay, so this is our data set. Let me, for example, I can use directly here, or I can use basically after assigning some variable. So this is a function which is known as tapply. Okay, I will be using tapply. There are many options available. If you can go and read the documentation, you will find out there are many options available to perform. But here we are just using a summary. We will be summarize our data, okay, to understand or to get some insight about that data. And once we have that insight, we will be trying to answer our question, which is about which meal is more appropriate. Okay, so let's say what is our data set? Let's copy this, or maybe apply. Okay, and then basically if you can just put $, you will get, for example, if you get just forget about tapply, and once you put $, here it will show all the attributes exist in this particular data frame. So here just we have our two attributes, which is weight and feed. So you can set this weight, you will get all the weight. If you put here $feed, you will get all the feeds corresponding to these weights. Okay, so this is the R2 attribute, which is one is actually weight and feed, and we want to perform basic analysis by using these two attributes, weight versus feed. Okay, after looking into these two attributes, which is actually weight and feed, now I will be using tapply. Okay, fine. Weight, because we want to perform analysis between just two attributes. One is actually weight, other is actually our feed, and we just want to perform summary. We want to summarize this data. Okay, let's see. Now you can see over here what it did. It did, for example, first it actually calculated minimum, first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, and maximum. So in this particular problem, we will be keeping it very simple level. So if we just look into minimum, mean, which is you can say average as well, and max. Just forget about first quartile or second, third quartile, or even median. Okay, I hope you know about what is median, what is mean, what is mode. Okay, so just ignore about it. We are just looking into minimum and maximum. Okay, so if you can see here that I have used basically first attribute weight and the second attribute feed. So what it did, it actually calculated minimum, maximum, first quartile, mean and maximum for each of these feeds. Okay, so yeah, so you can see casein, horse bean, linseed, meat meal, soybean, sunflower. Okay, there are 6 uh, type of feeds, and the other attribute was actually weight. So if you can see here, if you use this feed casein for your chicken, the minimum weight of the chicken is actually 216 and the maximum is 404. Similarly, if you see horse bean, 108 and 227. Okay, on average, yes, you can see here as well. This is mean, this is mean, this is min, and this is maximum. So it if you see first, okay, the minimum weight is quite good, 216, and the maximum is go up to 404. On average, all the chickens of using or the using the feed casein having on average weight of 323. For example, like horse bean, 108 and 227, not very attractive in comparison with casein. Moving forward, linseed, not very, although maximum is basically 309, not bad as horse bean, but still not very attractive in comparison with casein. Now meat meal, good, 276 on average, it is good, but again the difference between the maximum and minimum is again quite large, and the minimum and the mean is actually not as good as basically the mean of the casein. Then soybean and then sunflower. So if you can see, you can very easily visualize it that casein and sunflower has basically strong competition, because both of them is basically very close in terms of minimum, maximum and average or mean. If you further closely see the comparison between the mean of casein and the mean of sunflower, again mean means on average those chicken which uses sunflower as a feed has on average 328, but in casein it's 323. So there is a tough comparison or competition between these two feeds, or you can say these two feeds are very close to each other. You can feed any of one of them to have good weight chickens, or the chicken which have basically good weight. If you want to produce chicken with good weights, then you can feed casein and sunflower. But again, if you have to decide about the one, then definitely sunflower is better than casein. So by just doing this summary analysis using a built-in function of T apply between these two factors, or these two actually attribute, which is weight and feed, you can basically decide that if a chicken producer want to produce or grow a healthy chicken, then he must need to feed sunflower. If they feed sunflower, then they produce chicken with good weight, and you know it very well. If they produce chicken with good weight, they can maximize their profit. Mind it, you might be thinking about it that maybe casein is relatively cheaper food than sunflower. So right now we don't have any third factor or third attribute, so ignore about it. whatever data set you have available, just focus on it. So right now we have just two attributes. One is weight, other is basically the feed type or the feed. So by just using these two factors, which is again weight and feed, we can conclude on the basis of this current data set and the basis of the current analysis that sunflower is the best feed to use for chicken feed. Why? Because it produces chicken, or you can say which can produce or which actually produces chicken with good weight or the best weight in comparison with any other weight, or you can say in comparison with any other feed. However, remember, case in is also a strong competitor of sunflower feed. So if somehow sunflower feed is not available, then the other option or the next best option is casein. But if you have no restriction or no unavailability of any type of feed, then the recommended feed for chicken is sunflower because it produces healthy chicken, and due to this it will actually maximizes the profit of the chicken producer. Okay, so in this way we have basically solved problem number 1.1, and with this conclusion we will move to another problem. So the next problem is actually about insurance. Let's move to here. So again, this is a very simple problem, or you can say what we call it actually a Troy problem. What is the Troy problem here? The following tables contains the problem number 1.2, which is actually about the insurance. Let me read about it. The following table contains an imaginary data set of auto insurance provider and their rating as provided by the latest 3 customers. Now if you had to choose an auto insurance provider based on these ratings, which one would you opt for? So problem is again very simple. You have again 2 attributes only. One is insurance provider, other is actually rating. And rating is between out of 10 actually, from 0 to 10, of course. Of course, the higher rating has meaning the best one. If some insurance provider has basically 10 rating, this is the best one. And gradually, if it decreases, so it decreases in terms of basically services as well, right? So problem is very simple. You want to find out which insurance provider is actually best. Okay. So if I want to opt for an insurance provider, I want to basically use insurance services from some insurance provider, then which one I should select? So as you are aware that again we will use the same approach to find out which insurance provider is best. So this is the data set given here. Okay, so just 9 instances of data. Insurance provider and rating. I guess this data set is not actually available right away in R or built-in data set. So how we can feed this data into our environment so that we can perform some basic summary analysis. So let's move to my notepad. Actually, as you are aware that we will be using data frame to feed this data into our environment. And remember, this is not very difficult. You have to use data frame provided by R, and we will be using these 2 attributes as a data frame attribute, and we will be creating a list type of structure to store all insurance provider, and then basically we'll be using a list type of structure, which is actually rating. Actually, there's a function which is known as, which is actually C function, which actually perform concatenation of multiple values to create a list type of a structure, right? So let's move it. So this is my notepad file. This is my data set. So I've created one for you. It's not very difficult. This is the variable in which I want to assign this new data frame. How you will be creating data frame? It's very simple. Data.frame, and then of course this is a function. Bracket open, bracket close, like this. Then my first attribute, which is actually insurance provider. So I named it insurance underscore provider. You can name it anything like that, but you will be referring with the same name, whatever you will be assigning it. So insurance underscore provider, first attribute is equals to, and then C, which is actually the concatenate operator to create a list type of structure. And then I will be fitting 9 values of this particular attribute. This is GCO, progressive, then USAA, and USAA. Okay, actually, all have basically 3 instances. Okay. All insurance provider have basically 3 instances. So it actually become 9. So this is one attribute, okay, and having 9 values, comma, then the another second attribute, which is actually rating. Again, rating is another attribute. We will be feeding all 9 values of this attribute by using concatenate function, which is actually C. So again, rating is equal to C, 4.7, 8.3, and something like this, and so on, and up to 8.1. Okay. And then comma, and I have basically strings as factors. Right now I am not performing any factor analysis. This is just values. I don't want to of course second attribute is actually number. The first one is actually the string. Otherwise by default it actually treat as a factor, but we are not going to perform any factor analysis. That is why I have basically defined that a string as factor is equal to false, means any string attribute will not be considered as factor. We will be just using as a string values. Okay. So this is our data set. Again, the bracket close. I can just copy here and paste here. Simply enter. My data set is actually created. Now I can just type insurance, and this is our data set. So total 9 instances, 2 attributes. One is insurance underscore provider, other is actually rating. Okay. So we want, what next? I have basically entered my data into our environment by using data frame. Okay. So let T apply. Again, I will be using same function. Just T apply, and I will be using my new data set, which is actually the insurance data set. I will type insurance and we give you the data. We have rating, we have provider, and what we want summary. Simply enter, you will get the value. Now you can interpret it yourself. Again here, you can see, just focus on minimum, maximum and mean. So GCO has a minimum value of 4.70 and a mean of 7.40. Similarly, if you can see here, I mean the max value, which is 9.20 in case of GCO, progressive 6.70, and basically maximum value is actually 8.90. and the mean is actually 7.667. By the way, this is an interesting problem. The third one, USAA 3.8, minimum value, mean is 6.067 and max is 8. Remember, the more deviation between the mean and the maximum means it is not very consistent. In some cases it perform very poorly, in some cases it perform very well. Okay, so this is not basically a good rating if there is a large deviation between mean and max, or minimum and maximum values. Okay, so again, if you can see here, these two are, in the first view you can see over here, these two are strong competitors. You will be like, why? Here maximum value is 9.20, here 8.9. If you can just look into the maximum value, then definitely the first one has a maximum value. But vice versa, if you can see here minimum value, then you will be like, this one is better than that. But this is basically lesser than that. This means there is a relatively bigger deviation. Maximum value is much larger, and basically, maximum value is not much larger, but the minimum value is much lesser than that, 6.7 versus 4.7. This means GECO has a large deviation, but in progressive there is a less deviation. And finally, when you look into the mean value, here 7.40 and here 7.667. Then after looking these two things, one is deviation, and of course just looking into the minimum value, the mean value, you can very easily able to decide then Progressive is the best insurance company because it is more consistent in comparison with the GECO. Otherwise, if you just look into the maximum value, you will be like, oh, 9.20. I will be going to avail the services of the GECO services or the GECO insurance provider. But if you can see carefully, then Progressive has basically less deviation between the minimum and maximum value. And next, when you look into the mean value, you can see over here, the value is 7.667 in comparison with the 7.40 mean value of GECO. So by doing all these analysis, we can conclude that Progressive is the better insurance company in comparison with USAA and even GECO. And that is why it is recommended to opt or to avail the insurance services of the Progressive rather than GECO and USAA. Okay, so mind it, maximum value is not only the important thing, minimum value is not the only important thing. You have to look into deviation, and more importantly, you first look into the value of the mean, because the average value of Progressive is relatively better than the average value of the GECO. So by doing all this analysis, we can conclude that the recommended insurance company is Progressive. Okay, so let's move to another problem, and which is actually the last problem of chapter 1. So let's move to the last problem. So problem 1.3. So what is the problem 1.3? Let me read. Imagine you have grown to like Bollywood movies recently and started following some of the well-known actors from the Hindi film industry. Now you want to predict which of these actors' movies you should watch when a new one is released. Okay, so here is a movie review dataset from the past that might help. It consists of 3 attributes: movie name, leading actor in the movie, and its IMDb rating. Okay, assume that a better rating means a more watchable movie. Of course, you must be aware that about the IMDb database or web database, where actually they have rating about different actors and rating about movies and so on and etc. So you are very, you don't want to watch every movie by every actor, but you are very cautious about it. You will be like, okay, I want to see only top notch actor movies. So but you are not very uh, confident about which actor is best. Okay, so which actor is actually the best performer, having the best rating. So you will be, yeah, again, this is a toy problem. Otherwise you will be consulting with, or maybe you will be trying to take help from a data scientist. But I'm very curious, I'm very particular about my timing, and I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I just want to watch very top notch actor movies. So please guide me that which actor I should follow, or or the movies having actor X or Y or Z, which one I should need to watch. Okay, so this is the motivation. So this data is not actually available in R, so we have to feed. But remember now, in the last two problem, which is problem number 1.1 and the problem number 1.2, okay, we just have two attributes, but here we have three attributes: the leading actors, the movie name, and the IMDb rating. Recall that in this particular analysis, which two attributes are important or crucial for your decision making? Of course, IMDb rating, and the other attribute will be, or should be, leading actor or movie name. Of course, leading actor. You will like, why not movie name? Because you will be not about selecting movie name, because one movie will be, in generally, if it is not a sequel, then one movie name will be used only once for a single movie. So that should not be the case. However, you might be like sequel, but in case of journey sequences are basically 1, 2, 3, like race 1, race 2, or something like this. Okay, or race 3 or something like this. Okay, so movie name does not make sense here for this analysis, of course. Okay, for this analysis does not make sense. However, it has its own significance. So for this analysis, we will be considering only two attributes. One is leading actor, and the second one is actually the IMDb rating. Okay, so first we need to feed this data. So I have basically entered myself this data. You are well aware that how you will be feeding. I have used movies variable to store the data, but first of all we have to create the data in the form of basic data frame. So you just need to do data.frame followed by one more or more attributes. First attribute, leading underscore actor. For example, again concatenate operator to create a list of values for leading actor: Irfan Khan, Anupam Kheer, Anil Kapoor. Okay. So this one attribute, comma, then again second attribute, rating, and the third attribute. You will like why I'm using second attribute as a rating. However, in the actual data, it's a third attribute. Okay, no problem. Let's move it before this. Okay. Okay, so I think let me check leading actor. Okay. So first attribute become leading actor, followed by movie name. Fine, this is movie name. Okay, movie name, and then rating. Fine. So this is our data set. Okay, just forget to remove it, right? And then I can go here, and I don't want to consider as factors. By the way, I'm typing here. You can type right away in your bar studio. Okay. Let me just problem. Okay. So my data set is actually. Let me type movies. Okay. So this is total 7 instances. 3 for Irfan Khan, 2 for Anupam Kher, and 2 for Anil Kapoor. Okay. Again, this is a try problem. Again, we will be using tapply. I don't want auto completion, just remove this. Because there are many options available in tapply. We are using very basic options here. So movies, dollar, rating, comma, movies, dollar. Of course, we want to use leading actors rather than movie name. So reading and comma, and we want summary. By the way, it's actually provide auto completion. So RStudio is a very simple but really helpful tool. Let me enter this. Okay. Similar data, similar things, everything is like same because we are using same function for the third time. But remember, we are trying to experience or reiterate on different problems. So here you can see Anil Kapoor 6.0 minimum, maximum 6.60, average or mean 6.30. So very consistent, by the way. Anil Kapoor is very consistent. Good means there's no much deviation. Okay, fine. If you go for Anupam Kher, maximum is more than Anil Kapoor maximum. Minimum is basically much lesser than that. So that our mean is actually in the previous case 6.30, here 4.850. So the deviation is large, quite large. And in Anil Kapoor case, deviation is much less. In case of Anupam Kher, the deviation is much more than that. And of course, mean is also good for Anil Kapoor. So if just compare, if we just want to compare between Anil Kapoor and Anupam Kher, then definitely Anil Kapoor is better than that. But wait a minute. Let's see about what analysis we do have about Irfan Khan. So in case of Irfan Khan, minimum is 6.0, maximum is 7.4. Definitely deviation is more than Anil Kapoor. But even the minimum is same as Anil Kapoor. But wait a minute. Let's now move towards the mean value. So if you can see here the mean value, I told you earlier as well. If you just want to look into one value, just look for the mean value. If mean is better than that, you can basically decide. But you remember, if deviation is large, risk is more. Here again, you are not actually funding, or you are not spending any sort of money. Of course, if you are watching, again you will be spending some money, but you are not investing a big amount. If a movie ticket or a movie CD is not very high in price. Okay, so that's not a. In case of insurance, definitely it will be more risky. So actually, even if mean is good, but again, if minimum value is much less than that, much less than maximum value, it create actually more risk, more risky about it. But if it's not a financial term, maybe you can take risk. But if it's financial, you have to see the deviation between the minimum and maximum value. Okay, so here you can see the minimum value is somehow comparative, or you can say similar. The maximum value is actually 6.60, here 7.40, much bigger than the maximum value of Anil Kapoor. And if you can compare the minimum value, the mean value of the Anil Kapoor and the mean value of Irfan Khan, it is also large. So minimum is same, maximum is more than Anil Kapoor, and the mean is also more than Anil Kapoor. So after looking into three values, minimum, maximum and mean, and even though the deviation between the minimum value and the maximum value is relatively more than the deviation between the minimum value and the maximum value of Anil Kapoor, but still if you somehow the movie you are going to watch is basically the minimum value of the Irfan Khan rating, then even it will be 6.0. So if you will be watching Anil Kapoor, so it will be 6.0 as well. But the mean and the maximum are is relatively more than the mean and maximum value of the Anil Kapoor. So it is quite preferable to watch Irfan Khan movie than Anil Kapoor movie. Okay, so with this we can conclude that by using this data set and by doing this basic summary analysis, we can conclude that it is recommended to watch, okay, what? It is recommended to watch Irfan Khan movie in comparison with Anil Kapoor or Anupam Kher movie. Okay, so anyhow, we have tried our best to solve three basic or three twice problem using three different data set. One about basically chicken feed, the second about basically insurance company data, and the third about basically movie rating. Okay, and we used same tapply function, and we used the summary option in the tapply, but we have tried to basically solve all these three problems with very basic summary analysis, but having different behavior in the data set itself, to explore and to experiment that how we can use simple technique to solve data science problem. Okay, so with this I would like to conclude today's lecture, and I will suggest you to look to visit different data set website available on the internet. Maybe you can go for to the website of Kaggle, or maybe you can go for the Google dataset search engine, or maybe you can go for anything else. Okay, and experiment more, to play with more data, to play with more variety of data, to experience this thing yourself. Okay, so thank you very much. In the next week we will start another chapter which is more specific to data. So we will be discussing about data, its variety, type, its handling, its structure, and so on. So thank you very much.